What comes to your mind when you hear the word England? Do you think of royal families and their big castles with their expensive weddings? Or maybe you think of the popular things that came from England. Perhaps you've heard of Harry Potter? Or maybe you're thinking about how different they are on how they do things. Like how they have tea instead of coffee, or how their pies are savory instead of sweet. Or maybe how they use a lift instead of an elevator. Or maybe even how they use a different spelling to those same words that we use. Or maybe how their accents sound weird to us. Well, today we're going to talk about how England used its language to unite its people. Let's start by defining what an imagined community is. The term imagined community was coined by Benedict Anderson, a professor from Cornell University, when describing a nation. An imagined community is a community based on one's mental image of a belongingness to a certain community. It is different from an actual community since it is not based on a face-to-face interaction. Benedict Anderson then defined the concept of nations as imagined communities. He argued that the nation is imagined because the members of even the smallest nation will never know most of their fellow members, meet them, or even hear of them, yet in the minds of each lives the image of their communion. This sense of belongingness to an imagined community brought about the sense of having a national identity. Like the imagined community, a national identity is a cultural construct, meaning that the idea of having a national identity is something that is defined by the community that you belong to. Through this definition, nations are not only based on political systems but also systems of cultural representation, language being one example. Up next is a short clip of the history of England and how English became the national language of the nation.
(1066). True to his name, William the Conqueror invades England, bringing new concepts from across the Channel like the French language, the Doomsday Book, and the duty-free Gauloise multi-pack. French was de rigueur for all official business, with words like judge, jury, evidence, and justice coming in and giving John Grisham's career a kickstart. Latin was still used ad nauseam in church, but the common man spoke English, able to communicate only by speaking more slowly and loudly until the others understood him. Words like cow, sheep, and swine come from the English-speaking farmers, while the à la carte versions, beef, mutton, and pork, come from the French-speaking toffs, beginning a long-running trend for restaurants having completely indecipherable menus. All in all, the English absorbed about 10,000 new words from the Normans, though they still couldn't grasp the rules of cheek-kissing. The bonhomie all ended when the English nation took their new warlike lingo of armies, navies, and soldiers and began the 100 Years' War against France. It actually lasted 116 years, but by that point no one could count any higher in French, and English took over as the language of power.
This concludes our video. We hope that next time you think of England, you think of how they overcame a great obstacle by uniting their nation through one language. Thank you and good day, good night, good luck.